So I'd like to welcome everybody this morning. Very exciting morning, a little damp, but nonetheless. But welcome to Anderson Park, one of our lovely parks here in Bristol, where we're so fortunate to be surrounded by so many parks and so much parkland for our community. We're also blessed with a great community that is so supportive of the activities that we do here in the city. And then without the help of our corporate sponsors, we certainly wouldn't have the array of parks that we have. This new dog park that we're taking on at Food City Park will provide a lot of new recreational opportunities for the citizens of Bristol. One of the things I've learned about dog parks, it's not really just about the dogs. It really is a social hub for the community, and I was amazed at how many different groups get together at different times. And that social interaction in this computer age is very important. It's very important for folks to get together and talk. So we're thrilled to be able to build an additional dog park with some assistance from friends. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our mayor, Miss Margaret Fire-Robin, who can take it from there.
Thank you, Terry, and we thank our Parks and Rec and our city folks for having vision and moving in the direction that we need to go in our community, and this will be our second dog park. I'll ask Jack Young to join me up here, a fellow city council. I succeeded him as mayor, and also could recognize City Manager Bill Sora back there and everybody else. Anyway, so this is an exciting day. I asked my husband, what should I wear for the opening of a dog park? He said a raincoat. Other than that, he's probably not the best person to ask. Anyway, but we are so excited with this news. We'd like to be on site with the opening of it, but that's coming soon. So we're here to celebrate. And I was gonna thank Randy Boyd and his wife Jenny for the grants that they offer. And Randy Boyd's been a friend to our community with the Drive to 55 and other industrial and business, the Aerospace Park, lots of different things. So we feel like he's a little bit a part of our community here. But I don't have to just talk about him. We're thrilled that both Randy and his wife Jenny are here. So they'll tell us in person, and we just want to say thank you so much for what you are doing for us and across the state with other dog parks. It's something that people enjoy, and the dogs really need it, and we just appreciate you a whole lot. So welcome.
So thank you, Mayor. And first and foremost, the most important thing Jenny and I want to say is congratulations. This was a contest, so you know, this wasn't just Jenny and I picking favorites. If we were picking favorites, we would have picked Bristol, because we love Bristol. This is where Tennessee starts its business day. So we spent a lot of time in economic development learning that phrase, and got to know Bristol in a lot of different ways over the last couple of years. We really love it up here, but this was a contest that you won. There were over 50 cities all across the state that competed for a dog park grant. And you won because of a great application, a great vision, and a lot of community engagement. A lot of the key ingredients for winning was making sure that the community actually wanted it. So you had a lot of citizens that stepped up and proved that you are eager to have it. So, I want to say first and foremost, if nothing else, just congratulations on a great vision and a great plan. I thought I'd just take a moment and share a quick story on, so why are we doing dog parks in the first place? Why is that happening? A few of you might know a little bit about us, that we're in the pet business. But for those that don't, this story and the reason why we're doing dog parks began with an insult. So we make products called the PetSafe brand, Invisible Fence, and Sport Dog. And one of our best customers is PetSmart. It's a big retail chain out of Arizona. And they have something called PetSmart Charities, in which they provide grants for other type of animal welfare programs all across the country. Every year they'll have this big gala where they bring all their CEOs together. 10 years ago I got invited to go to the event, and it was a typical kind of fundraising day. They had a golf tournament. I don't golf, but I rode the cart. Then that evening they had the banquet, they had an auction, and everything was going along just fine. Until at the end of the day, or at the end of the banquet, the president got up and she began to speak about all the great things that are happening in animal welfare all across America, in part because of PetSmart charities. Everything was going along just fine, and then she decided to conclude her speech by saying, but we still have work to do. Unfortunately, there are still backwaters in America, places like Mississippi, places like Louisiana, and you guessed it, places like Tennessee. And I don't know if this was true or not, but I was the only CEO in the room from Tennessee, and it seemed like every head in the room just kind of turned and looked at me like, how dare you not do a better job of taking care of your pets? Like, that's not true. We love our pets in Tennessee, but came back home and found out statistically we ranked at the bottom of the list on most animal welfare ratings. And so in my hometown of Knoxville, we decided to fight back. In the pet training world, they have this theory that when a dog is attacked, you either fight or flight. So we had the same choice. We could either run from this or fight back. And so we created a whole series of initiatives to make Knoxville the most pet-friendly city in America. Now, we weren't anywhere close, but we wanted to have an aspirational goal, making Knoxville the most pet-friendly city. And big things that are important, a pet adoption center, new spay and neuter programs, things that really affect euthanasia and some of those other things we were poorly ranked at. But one of my employees had this idea to create a dog park. And I thought, that'll never work, but we'll try it anyway. So we did, and I was wrong and she was right. People love the dog park. I want to emphasize what Terry mentioned a moment ago, that dog parks are for people too. I remember when we created the dog park, they had a big article in the newspaper, and I went online to read the article. I was out of town, and something that everybody that's in public service knows, you never read the comments because they never are good. But I'm out of town. I'm thinking, I'm in a weak moment. I just like to hear all these people giving me praise and saying thank you and nice things. And so I read the first comment, and the first comment was, what a waste of money. People are needing parks. We're wasting money on dogs when people need parks too. Of course, I was at least smart enough not to engage with the person, but as we know, dogs don't have opposable thumbs. They can't go to the park without the people. And dog parks are a great place to bring people together. And I'm not going to share anything that's a surprise, but in the country today, in the world today, the world's so full of divisiveness and things that tear us apart. We need more things that bring us together, and the dog park does that. When you have your dog park now, and I'm sure you see the same thing there. At the dog parks in Knoxville, you can go, and people from all walks of life are there with their dogs. They're all sharing the same park bench. At the same park bench, you'll see rich and poor people sharing a park bench with the joy of their dogs. You'll see young people and old people sharing a park bench with their dogs. On occasion, I've even noticed you can actually go to the dog park and see on the same park bench Republicans and Democrats sitting on the same park bench. It can happen. So I think dog parks do more than just support animal welfare, but they do a good job of doing that as well. So because of that, my company decided, let's do a dog park contest around the country. We called it Bark for Your Park. And we have over 1,000 cities each year competing for dog parks. Over an 8-year period, we had 42 winners, none of which were from Tennessee. I would go to places like Virginia and Utah, handing out these big checks to people I didn't know. They deserved them, they earned it, but I just thought, wouldn't it be great if people in Tennessee could also win some of these. Jenny and I, over the last 2 years, have traveled all across the state and got to make friendships all across the state. So that was the idea behind the Dog Park Dash. Let's do the same thing that the company was doing just for the folks in Tennessee. So the program is 3 years long. We're doing $1 million worth of grants this year, $1 million next year, and $1 million the year after. There are 36 winners of a $25,000 grant and one winner of a $100,000 grant. Obviously, Bristol is one of the winners this year of the $25,000 grant. We're hopeful by the end of the 3 years, not only will we have given out over 100 dog parks across our state, but we can also start a movement to make Tennessee the most pet-friendly state in America. So I look forward to going back to that lady at PetSmart Charities and be able to say, look at us now. Look where we're at. And so hopefully the dog parks will be a catalyst. It's not the only thing that will get us there, but it can be a catalyst to start hopefully a movement across our state. So we're excited about the being here in Bristol, excited that Bristol won. We're want to conclude by congratulating you one more time and then giving you a big check, which is why we're here.